There is a lot of confusion around some unwritten rules and gentlemen's agreements in Counter-Strike, and I get it, they're changing, evolving. These rules live in its own meta, but not all of them. Some of them are evergreen, they've been around for decades, yet a lot of players aren't aware of them because no one taught them. So it got me thinking, what unwritten rules do I know, and what context can I add to them, both from casual playing all the way to professionals? This is the codex of the game. In this video, we will uncover over 40 unwritten rules of CS. So let's get into it. For the sake of keeping everything neat and easy to follow, I will put all of these rules in 3 separate categories. First, we have the in-game moments. This is pretty self-explanatory. That's what happens on the server and happens for all the levels. Next, we have Pro CS, and this one only touches the absolute top competition, which I have been part of for a decade. Here we touch on multiple in-game concepts, but we also share some insights of teams as well, how it works inside of the team and some punishment, etc. Last category is labeled CS2 goats, and basically this is karma. Do not do stuff that we present in this category, otherwise it will bring bad luck, bad vibes, bad timings. You will look like a douche. And this is not an official document, so if you have anything that I forgot to add, that is what the comment section is for, and I will try to get some additional context to it. So let's start with in-game moments. Our first rule to cover is that if you're lowest elo in a solo queue, you gotta play Mirage B apps. Unless someone willingly takes this position and calls for that spot, which is super rare, you just have to do it. You can bend this rule under one condition, and that is if you're playing with a friend, so you play together in a duo queue. So for example, A and connector. But generally for solo queue, this is pretty much a standard. Similarly, the next thing is that the highest elo player gets to choose the position he wants to play. Unless there's a very specific moment, and that is when pro player is in your lobby and he doesn't play too much of a faceit, so he is a lower elo than you. But that is super rare. That will only happen to probably like a handful of people watching this video. So for the most part, the highest elo player gets the most impactful position. Let him carry, let him be in a position to do most damage. He's probably the best, and the elo is, unfortunately, or elo, however you want to look at it, is the only metric that we have right now. So get good positions. Let good players have those good positions. Next up, we have Bogdan's Law, and this one's from the days of NA, FPL, and rank, as where Bogdan is the one on a low HP, and he's going to get an op even from the godlike of, I think, was it Simple? I think Simple gave him an op. I'm not really sure about that, but basically, if your teammate is a low HP, give him the op and let him play. It is very likely that with rifle he will not do any damage because he will get into really like tough positions, and with low HP he just instantly dies. With op you can, have a little bit of a distance and play supportive role and have a variety of it and hold from the back, hold down long range angles, so this HP does not come into play that much. So if you're full HP and you have an op, but your teammate looks at you really nicely and he asks for that op, you gotta give it to him. Next up, we have teabagging and shooting bodies. Now, listen, this might get a little bit controversial. On pro level, I get it why some players do it, because there's like secret beef. You want to get into their head, and we're playing for thousands and thousands of dollars, right? But in a real match of faceit players or premier or competitive, this really leaves like a sour taste in your mouth. Like, I mean, why doing that? Why are we teabagging someone? Why are we shooting bodies? Like, come on, like, we're just having fun here, and unless when someone does it to you, you're allowed to do it back. You basically broke this codex, but other than that, just don't do it. It's pretty distasteful. The next one is that the dead oper should keep track of his dropped op where he lost it and give info who should pick it up after the round ends. It is not the responsibility of players being alive to look on the ground for scavenging the op and bringing it to the next round. It's the oper's responsibility. So even if you're dead and you're dead for a minute and a half, open your mouth once your team cleans up the round and tell where they need to retrieve that op. And obviously, better players will naturally do it even beforehand. Like you see that the distance between the dropped op and the closest teammate is too big. You gotta tell him like, bro, just go there. The round is gonna be over soon. Just go there and you will pick up the op. So you kind of instruct them even before the round ends. But that's a higher level. That's again for the only handful of you. And speaking about opers keeping track of money and the skins and his own op, you want to play with your own skins. So this is perfect segue for the partners of today's video. Quick word from them. With more and more people coming to play Counter-Strike due to decent updates lately, we see that some people simply forgot about their cool skins in their inventory. If you're one of them looking to sell via person to person, or you simply want to snatch something cool to upgrade your loadout, look no further. Because there's ShadowPay, which is actually a solid place to buy, sell, or trade skins, but most importantly, the whole process is quick and trivial. Picking what you like, adding it to the cart, and completing the whole purchase takes literally 8 clicks. I counted. And if you want to trade, that is just as easy. Exchanging your old loadout by selecting skins on the left for something fresh and new on the right is always an option. Again, just few clicks needed. The selection is large, and if you catch a good deal, skins are often priced better than on Steam Market, so keeping an eye out on your favorite skins can pay out in dividends. And speaking of paying dividends, make sure to save some money and also support this channel by using code STYKO when topping up your balance. All the links are in the description. Oh, and before I forget, for using ShadowPay often, you shall get rewarded. All active users can participate and win some cool extra skins to either use or turn into balance over at the giveaway section. Once again, use code STYKO, which works when you top up that balance. And now, let's get back to the video. Next law we have is Zonic law. I love Zonic. Hi Zonic, if you're watching this. That is 11-4 scoreline in CSGO is the most dangerous lead, but right now we're on MR12. So in CS2, this is a 9-3 half. That is the most dangerous lead because if you're winning 9-3, you get pretty comfortable. You only need 4 rounds to finish the game, right? Well, guess what? You lose pistol, you lose first gun round, and suddenly it's like 9-8, 9-7, sometimes 9-9, and you know, things are getting a little bit rowdy in here. So the most dangerous lead, and Zonic attributes it also to the football lead of 2-0, which is the most dangerous one. So we gotta have it in this video. Next unwritten rule is that we are giving ace to a player who already killed 4 enemies. And now this one can cost you a round. Obviously, if you are in a position where the guy is literally shooting you back and you're almost going to die, this last guy that is alive, you want to shoot him back, okay? Just don't lose any extra weapons, whatever. But if you are actively chasing and looking to steal that ace, it's not good. Like, let your teammate get that stat pad, honestly. It's pretty good confidence boost. And if you're gonna do it to your teammates will do it to you as well. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You build trust this way. Next unwritten rule, and this one is obvious, this has been around for decades. When asking for drop, you just crouch. You look at the teammate with the money, you crouch, announce. You don't even need to announce it via voice chat or team say or anything. You just crouch and look deep into his eyes and hypnotize him to press that buy menu and give yourself a rifle. This is how you do it. And yes, now in CS2 actually you can spam pings as well. You can spam pings for a little bit, but crouching should be good enough. And yeah, people will hopefully listen to you. When you're getting out of the spawn and you are getting bundled up and there's a little bit of a traffic jam, if you and your teammate are going straight on into one another, you both use right side to pass each other, okay? That's the golden rule, and that's what has been around since the Counter-Strike 1.0, if that was a thing. I'm not sure, I haven't played that. I'm not that old. Next up is whenever you drop grenades in some specific position for your teammates to pick it later on, that is pretty advanced stuff in itself, you ping, okay? You just ping that spot where it exactly is, where it kind of maybe landed, because we know when we're throwing these grenades, it can bounce funnily in a way that it's not precisely in a corner and it goes like underneath some kind of a grass or a texture, and it's a little bit harder to spot. So please ping it. Just one ping is enough, so that player that eventually wants to pick that grenade, he remembers, oh, this guy pinged here at the beginning of the round. This is where the grenade is, somewhere there, okay? It might have been a little bit off and it kind of like rolls around. It doesn't matter. You ping where you drop your grenades. This should happen on every single level. Next up, we have, I don't know if this is controversial. Some players consider this controversial, but honestly, if you think this is controversial, it only tells so much about your skill level, your rank, but does to CT side. In lower levels, is played spawn-based, okay? If you have a long spawn, you're gonna fight for that long. But at the top level, it isn't. It is played role-based. And if you will watch a match of Dust 2 amongst pro players, amongst pro teams, at the major, whatever it might be, you will naturally see that B players, even if they have long spawns, they will just go to B for the most part. And the reason is very simple. I think in pucks and in lower level environment, it is very hard to play Dust 2 without long control. So you want to utilize your spawn and your best long spawn to contest that long, right? However, at the pro level, people are more comfortable playing without long. They're better at faking, they're better at setting up around middle. It requires a lot of communication and a lot of team play, which is definitely not going to happen in pucks that cleanly as in team environment. So this is what I'm trying to say. If you're low level and if you're just playing pucks, spawn-based Dust 2 it is. If you're advancing and you're in academy teams or in the real teams or in the pro teams, this is where you will spot that this map is actually role-based. Next up, we have a little bit of a philosophical take, but you cannot win every single game in Counter-Strike. You just cannot. It is impossible unless you're cheating, and even then it's pretty hard because everyone cheats. What? I'm kidding. So there is this rule that 30% of the games roughly are guaranteed losses. You cannot do anything about it. Even if you drop 50 bomb, it's just you just cannot carry yourself through the game to win. And the 30% of the games are guaranteed wins. However bad you play, you will still win some of these games because you're going to get carried or you're going to win like unlikely rounds, like 1v3 clutch that are your only 3 frags in the half, whatever it might be. And then there are 40% of the games that you can actually impact into wins and losses depending on your performance. So think about it this way, okay? If your win rate is 70%, which is all your guaranteed wins and all your like kind of mixed and match when you're unsure if whether you win or lose, you are a top tier player, like S tier of your elo, and you are most likely going to get out of that rank into another one because you're too good for that rank. 70% win rate is insane in a Counter-Strike. Next, we have stop using grenades in the warm-up. This is the ultimate dick move. Only exception is if you want to check smoke lineup, but you can do that with the decoy. So a lot of players do not know that, but if you are unsure if the smoke lands where you want it to land, okay, you can buy a decoy. You can throw a decoy and just wait until it lands. And when it starts making shots, right? At the radar, this is the only grenade which you can see on the radar because the gray dot will appear and that is your decoy. So on the radar, now you see where this smoke or this lineup actually lands. And you can just, if you're happy with it, if you think it's correct, you pull your smoke and then you throw the smoke. Easy as that. Or you can do that next round, whatever it might be, right? But decoy is actually visible on radar and not a lot of players know that, and you can use it as a like lineup check for the smoke, which you're eventually going to throw. Next, we have don't talk in clutches and backseat. Again, this is for lower level and anywhere below pro level, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It doesn't really matter. You do not backseat. You do not talk in clutches. Let the man play. Obviously, at the highest level, you have something called eyes in the sky, where dead players are actually having the best overview of the situation. So they're like clicking between teammates. They see the timings of the grenades. They see if the setup is incorrect. They see whether there is a timing to push, etc. So they are a little bit more, you know, they're the leaders of the moment as well. And they are important. Like tier 1 teams are actually utilizing this fairly well. However, if you're just playing pucks, just let the man be. Like, don't backseat him. Don't tell him that he has a smoke on the ground and he has a... Okay, maybe that's pretty important. Just if he missed the smoke, you can tell him, like, there's smoke behind you. I just died in this position. You can pick a kid before the retake. Stuff like that, yes. But, like... Don't talk. Just let the man play and fail at his own. Next up is that we first give information. It's specific but short, and then you can rage through voice comms. Even though you shouldn't, obviously, but I'm not gonna pretend that none of us did it and everyone is guilty of this. You should not just scream into the mic or say any bad, rude words about your enemy. However, if you do it, please do it after you give information, which is how many people you see, what they're doing, and where they are. That's all there is, okay? This one tells me, but if your team decides to eco and you can't afford a hero buy, do not force, okay? Do not get like a Deagle Kevlar just for the sake of having it. There's a very low chance that this is going to be rewarded in some capacity, so please just Just don't do it, okay? If you're ecoing, do it as a team. Next we have pretty interesting one. Allow yourself to get carried by not baiting your best player. If there is a guy in your queue that is your friend that is 3 levels higher than you, just don't bait him, okay? Just do everything in your power to put him in the best situation, because most of the time he's the one responsible for carrying you, and he's going to basically make it way more likely that you're going to win this game, even though he's going to be the one taking all the frags and all the credits. But allow your teammate that is fairly good to be set up. Don't not bait him, okay? Do not send him into like 1v1 duels against AWP when he has an AK. You can jump for him, you can make that AWP miss a little bit, and then your teammate actually is an advantage. So it goes hand in hand. Next rule is pretty wholesome, and that is to type NT into the team chat after clutch attempts that got close. This NT means nice try, and you appreciate your teammates this way. Even if there was a 1v3 that they fumbled a little bit at the end, but they still got a decent economy damage, maybe they get a bomb plant down. It's very important that these things are going to snowball into something relevant later on. Then you type NT and you just bring the good vibes despite losing the round. Similarly, if you screw up something, type MB, which is my bad. And this one's important for 2 things. This one is just naturally you are aware of your own mistake, which you did, that you screw up something, that you screw up the nade or the timing, or you whiff the shot, doesn't really matter. But most of the time, it is that you do not allow your teammates to get frustrated at you, because you know your mistake. They're not going to be like, oh, by the way, you missed that smoke, you missed that flash, and what is happening? You type MB. Yeah, I know, I fucked it up. I'm gonna be hitting it from now on. I know the lineup. I just had a little brain stroke right there. So MB, my bad. It gets used pretty often, honestly, at the highest ranks, so I want to include it here. Next, we have that we don't save on eco rounds. It tilts people and honestly gives opponents more money in a way that if you're on CT and you have only USPs, okay, and you allow Ts to plant the bomb, they already get a bonus money. And if you allow that C4 to actually explode while you are like hiding on the other side of the map because you're just afraid to give them $300 if they kill you with an AK, well, you give them extra money because the bomb exploded, right? So it actually, like, by you saving, you gave them more money than just going in and dying. Plus, you always have a chance to just, yes, with USP, you can sometimes win a duel against AK or Galil, or you double dink someone. And this amount of things that can happen to potentially weaken their economy as well is pretty important. So just on these full eco rounds, don't save, please. There are some situations where that's good, but most of the time, just don't save. And speaking about money, you can save some to not buy head Kevlar on CD sides if opponents all have AKs. This helmet will not save you, but you know what? It will save $350 extra. And if you truly want to min-max your economy, this is great rule that you can follow, and it can save you thousands of dollars every single game and allow you even 1 extra full buy if game gets close at like 11-11 or 11-12. This is very underrated, and bad players usually just automatically, whenever they buy, they also buy head Kevlar, and yeah, that is not that great. Another rule is that we do not throw the bomb on spawn. Give it to a person or throw it to one of common spots on each map. Don't just leave it, willy-nilly in the buy zone and drop it on the ground, especially like in the weird corner where no one is ever going to pick it up. Just utilize it a little bit better and drop it when you actually leave the spawn, but it's still in the secure spot. And if you really want to get rid of it, drop it directly to someone. Directly, okay? This one's pretty nasty, but, follow the call unless you say another plan and people agree. So if the call is to rush long because you have good spawn on Dust 2, you're not going to just take your knife and go towards tunnel. Like, you're not going to do that, okay? You can say that, okay, just you hold that long and I'm gonna lurk tunnel because you have like a best B spawn and you're anyway going to be late for this long take. But if you have like a second best long spawn, you want to go out. Like, you don't want to like ruin that and go to tunnel for no apparent reason whatsoever. And if you don't want to go long, present another plan. present it, okay? You can't just say, no, I'm not going to do it. You have to follow up. No, I'm not going to do it. Let's play slow instead. Let's play a little bit more map control. Let's not rush into the nades. You can make stuff up. You can make up a read on the spot, but please say another plan and people will agree with it, okay? Next tip is regarding, or not a tip, but like a rule is regarding retakes. If you have only one smoke and you're on CD side, retaking the bomb site, please smoke the C4, not at the choke point where the enemy is or where he might be, because he will just spam you and you cannot spam him back because they will use this smoke as a cover and it eventually turns into just a gamble moment, right? There's this Fallen famous 1v5 on Inferno against Mongols where he's just spamming the smoke and no one can kill him. Guess why? Because no one sees him. Similarly to him, he doesn't see anyone. But the whole point is that you're giving him a boosted chances to just take like a 5 smoke spam kills because, well, he knows where the bomb is planted. He knows roughly where to shoot. So obviously you smoke the bomb and don't let that smoke be his only cover. Everyone better than you is a cheater, and everyone worse than you is a noob. So this is an unwritten rule that a lot of you guys maybe know, but that's not always true. This is the unwritten rule that a lot of people kind of mistreat its way. It's BS, coping mechanism. Okay, this unwritten rule is made up by bad players, which you're probably not one of because you're watching my channel and we're learning together, right? So no, not everyone that is better than you is a cheater. That is just completely normal that there are going to be days where you're getting owned by completely legit players and you have to stop crying. Please, please, please stop crying, okay? And the last thing that I want to mention for in-game stuff is the fake info. Hitting once or getting one bullet on the enemy doesn't mean that he is low. Please do not call this fake information because teammates get to work with this fake information and they are being overconfident. They maybe swap from AWP to pistol because he thinks that some guy's 1 HP, but in reality it's like 50 HP. And then they lose that for no reason and they swing incorrectly, they peek incorrectly. You know, good players will take this information and play around that. So if you give wrong information, it will come back and bite you in the ass. All right, let's move into Pro CS. So for professionals, I will start with Trash Talk. And Trash Talk is only allowed with the headset on. The headset like this on the tournaments, you know, these Trash Talk banter, I don't know, shouts. Just use them when the headset is on. It can get a little bit awkward when the headsets are off and they actually get to hear precisely what is being shouted. Just trash talk with the headset on only. Another thing about trash talk is that this is shouting only, okay? Never through in-game chat. Unless you're like trash talking a good friend of yours, you don't really go into chat and type like, oh my god, you're so bad. Like after a 1v1, Zyve wins a 1v1 against, I don't know, like Shiro. And then Apeks is like, Shiro, just step up, brother. Like, you suck. You suck. He might shout that, you suck, Shiro, right? But he doesn't type that in-game chat. And the reason is very simple, because that can actually be punished as bad manners, okay? That is actually injected into the rules of the tournament that you cannot badmouth opponent through chat. There's logs of that, but you can do that through shouting. That is why it's kind of connected to the previous point. You only shout with the headset on because you can't really hear it. You can sometimes hear it in certain like studios depending on the tournament, but on stages you will never hear that. And that's why trash talking is kind of taking a step back, and it's instead you like hype up your teammates on the stage, okay? Because like, what's the point of screaming like 20 feet across the stage where arena is super loud anyway? Like, they're not going to be hearing me. Instead I waste that energy, I save that, and I channel it to my teammates, okay? I fist bump, I talk to my teammate next to me like, bro, you're fucking insane, and you're instantly like giving this pump of energy to the good hands, which are your teammates. Next up, if you're muting your microphone, which is completely normal on TeamSpeak or Discord, enable the warning sound to remind you to unmute. I cannot tell you how many rounds I've lost in my career because some of my teammates, they muted the mic because, well, they were dead previous round for a long time and they wanted to like take a sip of water or anything like that. And then in the freeze time, they forget to unmute and they're talking to me in freeze time. Bro, I think we should be doing this strat. I think we should be doing strat. You know, like, I think we should be doing this. And we don't hear them. We cannot take this information, and then they're like, bro, guys, why are you not listening to me? And guess what? You're muted. I didn't hear a single word. This is even worse if this happens mid-round and there's some information that has to be relayed. The guy is talking into the mic and he doesn't know he's muted. He doesn't know he's muted. And that's why you have this warning sound to remind you to unmute. Please, if you're serious about improvement and you're in a team environment, please, please, please start doing this. It's in TeamSpeak, it's in Discord, okay? Next, we have to not touch the setup of a player unless he gives you a permission. This is a big one. I personally don't care that much if someone touches my gear, but I care when someone sits down, okay? When I'm already like warmed up and everything is set up, and they sit down and they like change the angle of the chair, or they like put it higher or lower, or they tilt the monitor slightly, like bruh, like do not touch my shit. And I know players which are not allowing anyone to touch their keyboard, to touch their mouse. The hand can be greasy, and the kind of like it's a personal preference. If you want to do something at another one's PC, ask for permission. And if the permission is not a clear yes, that means no. Okay, do not touch that setup. Next, we have that we don't get frustrated at the admin behind you. It is tilting to go through technical issues, but when you take balls and admin comes to help you, shouting or blaming him is completely pointless. It's distasteful, right? He's there to solve your issue or report it to the league operator, and if you start insulting him because of your, I don't know, FPS drops or sound issues, that just leaves really bad taste in the mouth. He has nothing to do with that. He is there to help you, so please control yourself, okay? Another unwritten rule is that we do not belittle or trash talk your teammates in front of the camera. Even if you're frustrated with your mate, airing this dirty laundry in front of camera or other players or in general in public make you look so weak. And so much so that actually some organizations can get you punished, right? Like you will have to pay a fee if you're doing this kind of a thing in a public manner with jerseys on and sponsors on it. It looks like you're literally just fighting, and it is unnecessary drama. It is showing to the public that you can't even wait for a post-match talk to blame someone, okay? It gives you the label of toxic player, even if you might be right. I don't know, like there is a lot of, things to consider. So just make sure to time this conversation properly, and you usually do that in a practice room, in a hotel room, in a team talk, whatever, out of the cameras, out of the microphones, out of the, I don't know what it might be, whatever it might be. Another rule from the team environment is that, pro CS team environment, is that if you're late to a team meeting or a practice, every minute is a penalty. Either financial one, like for every minute you put $100 to a team jar, which gets used to for stuff like team dinner. And $100 might sound like a lot, right? But for teams that are earning thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars every single month, you might as well incentivize it. So it balances it out. It's not a lot of money for them, but at the same time, it's just not like like I'm gonna be late every day, 10 minutes, and I'm gonna be okay playing like $1K of dollars to a team chart. Like that's unreasonable. Or sometimes for teams where money is like a little bit of a like tighter issue, right? You must go grab and pay for coffee for the whole team. And to make it even extra spicy, this was what we did in one of my teams. We make that order extremely weird. Like I'm saying for a Starbucks, like you wanna like a sprinkle of like a glowy pinky thing on the top, and then you want like one pump of a caramel thingy, and then one pump of chocolate. Like you make it as difficult and ridiculous as possible. When he's reading it out to this lady behind the counter or a man behind the counter, the guy or girl goes like, what the hell are you just ordering? What is this? This is the weirdest shit I've ever had to make. And guess what? We are 5 people that are going to be ordering this. So there are 5 weirdest orders ever, and he just looks dumb and it takes forever, and he's wasting like 30 minutes of his time after the practice, which he could have spent like playing Face It or whatever he wants to do. All right. So if this is repeating, then obviously serious punishments come from management, but you might be required to maybe always buy utility on pistol rounds or drop P250, right? And therefore be stuck on grenades or no Kevlar. It can be punishments like this, so please don't be late. And every team has different ways how to punish this, but no one is taking it like, yeah, you can be late. It's fine. You can be late. No one is like that. Next rule is about rookies, and I love these ones. So rookies, which are usually the newest guy on the team, should never be last guy to show up to a team practice. And you lose this rookie status after some time, like few months, so it becomes more relaxed. But if the team meeting is at 10 a.m. and you're the last guy joining it and like 9:55 and every one of your teammates and coaches and coaching staff is already there prior to it, this is honestly like I don't want to say punishable, because like what are you going to punish? Like he still was on time. But as a rookie, you don't want to do this, okay? It's an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule, which is the whole point of this video. You do not arrive the last guy. You don't... Obviously, if you overslept, like that is terrible. I mean, it happens. Some people get sick. Some people get like alarm broke or whatever it might be, like personal stuff. But rookies, you do not arrive the last to the team practice. Next one is very fair play, and that is to shake hands after the game. And this is pretty standard in LAN tournaments, which you're seeing probably on stream a lot. But sometimes, due to some political situation, you might skip that, and that is understandable as of late. If you're playing online, this handshake is virtual through typing GG or good game or GGWP, good game well played in the chat, or something like that along those lines. So other than that, you always go for a handshake, which might be like a fist bump or like a dap or like literally just a handshake. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you hug the player if you know him personally. It happens, okay? But yeah. If it's not happening, it's most likely due to some kind of political situation. Next unwritten rule that is relevant only at pro level is about agents. You do not use agent skins in competitive games or tournaments. When agents got released in a lot of maps and positions were incredibly hard to spot, and to prevent this gimmick from being abused, we all virtually shook hands and said only default skins are allowed. So that is why when you watch professional match, you never see any agent skins besides the default one. This is one of those rules that I don't think was ever broken when I think about it, or at least not intentionally. Oh, next one is pretty good. Take care of your peripherals. So let me explain. You want to bring extra mice to a tournament. If you're broke and you need to take another one, you want to have extra in your suitcase. Take care also for in-ear monitors, which are like in-ears, these buds that you put under the noise cancelling headset. And why I'm saying this, because it is so easy to forget them, because you usually don't use them when you're at home or you're in the like boot camp or whatever it might be. And it's easy to lose them because they're pretty small. It's easy to forget them. So that's why IEMs or in-ears, they are super, super important. Do not forget that. That's an unwritten rule. Whenever you come to a LAN, you're like, yo, you got everything? And then they're like looking at you and like, fuck, you know what I forgot? And the other guy goes like, always, in-ears? Yeah, in-ears. Because it happened to me as well. Sometimes I forgot in-ears. I learned the hard way. I played on shitty ones. I couldn't hear like good steps. And yeah, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. I just want to play always on my gear. So I completely blame myself for not being able to memorize that. Hell, I need IEMs or in-ears or whatever I was using at that time. Last category is CS2 goals, which I also, label as basically karma. So this is not something that is like rooted in the rules, but they are rooted in like a gentleman's rules. So bear with me here. If other team requests a pause or restart when freeze time ended and you are all on full health, you allow it. Actually, this one is rooted in rules. You should be allowing it. But sometimes you get like on the overpass. You start overpass CT side. And as you're going towards B, you drop down from the CT into stairs and you lose like 1 HP or 2 HP. So technically, the damage has been done in that round. And then the enemy team is like, yo, we got to restart. One guy crashed. Obviously, you're going to allow it. Obviously, because by the rules, admins will say, no, we are not allowing it. But you can overrule that by saying, You actually will love it. Like, come on, guys. Like, we are okay with it. Just restart the round, okay? This is karma. If you allow it and you're being fair play, karma will be on your side and you're going to have, you know, I don't know, good game. I don't know, whatever it might be. Basically, good things will happen to you. Next, we have this is pretty standard one. This is from old days. But if an opponent is a slashing wall with knife in 1v1, he challenges you to this knife fight. And if you accept, you pull the knife and slash the wall as well. And after that, there is no running away. Just please get on with it. You don't have time to run around and like outplay each other in 1v1 knife fight. Just please go ahead and just do it, okay? Get on with it. However, if you do pull out a gun in a clear 1v1 knife fight, you are a complete a-hole, okay? You just got yourself years and years of bad luck, bad timings, toxic teammates. I don't know. Seriously, your moral compass is broken beyond repair. Do not do that, okay? That's what like noobs on Counter-Strike 1.6 public servers were doing. We're competing, we're competitors. We're not doing that. We're better than that, okay? Next up is typing good luck, have fun, or just have fun or HF at the start. Similarly, in online games, you are typing GG at the end, which we already covered. You're just being, you know, nice to your, respectful to your opponents. You want to wish them, okay, if you don't want to wish them good luck, which is understandable, you don't want them to have good luck, right? But they can at least have fun. If you wish that, that's a good karma. That's a good karma. It's gonna be good. Next one, my personal pet peeve. Never disconnect before the match is over. Even if it's like 3-12 and your teammate is in 1v5 clutch, unwinnable clutch. You do not disconnect. Do not be like Smuya. Didn't Smuya do this on like this Spanish team of Star Riders or whatever was it on Mirage when one of his teammates was like clutching and he just disconnects? Just don't be like Smuya, guys. Like, what is wrong with you? Next up, this is extremely niche, but let me tell you a story. If you see a reflection of a screen somewhere in the arena or in the stadium, and this is actually tied to the CS Pro games, obviously, because like casuals are not going to be playing in arenas or pro stadiums, right? But if you see reflection of a screen somewhere in the arena or in the stadium, you pause the game and immediately report it. This happens way often than you would expect. It happened to Simple at one of the tournaments, which I can't remember from the top of my head, but somehow my editor will pull it together right now as information.
So, I'm going to say what's happening here. Simple believes he has an unfair advantage right now. He can see the radar somehow off the glass, the reflection, and he doesn't want to play like that.
Oh.
That's very sportsmanlike of him to even let them know, and they're going to fix that issue now, and we're going to work out why that's happening. And he wants to make sure if he has this victory, he wants to be proud of it. He doesn't want to feel like he cheated.
And it happened to me as well. It happened to me and my team in Kiev in HellRaisers with the producer of this channel, Zero, right? And it happened to some smaller LAN I attended like a few weeks ago in Barcelona as well. It happens, and even though it's not so obvious that you can read anything from reflection, you do report it, and admins will cover this. I guarantee you that in return, you will be blessed and respected by everyone involved in that match, whether it's fans, casters, opponents, admins, your teammates. It's a huge thing. Yeah, as I said, even if you cannot really say from this reflection anything, it can give you some eventual information. Like, you know, like you are in 1v1 and you throw a flash somewhere and you see that the reflection is completely white for a moment, you know that you flashed him and he's in the position where you flashed. So it can give you some information. Please report it. Don't use it. And another karma thing is that if you take technical pause when there is a no problem and you do it because you need to just chill or think more about the game, you are cursed. This is so bad. No respect from me, okay? This was especially true for like a COVID era, like an online era when everyone was playing from home and people kept taking tech pauses for a few minutes to check the stream, check the economy, and they were labeling it, oh, I have a headset issue, oh, keyboard issue, oh, my mouse, I need to charge it a little bit, you know, and they take a pause for 5 minutes, the stream catches up from the delay, and they see, oh, they don't have money for an op, so let's run this default because they can't punish you. So It's terrible. It's terrible. I know a lot of teams did it. I know a lot of teams won matches which they shouldn't be winning. It's just extremely hard to prove, and I'm glad it's not happening that much lately, because you have to have like this external web cameras on the online tournaments. On offline tournaments, it obviously doesn't happen because you can't talk to your teammates. So yeah, this is the karma, and it's gonna get you. Like if you were abusing it at some point, it's going to get you. I promise you guys. All right, if I did forget something, which is very likely, please allow us to read that in the comment section. I'm gonna be actually interested to see what you guys can think of, and I will hopefully reply to it, and I will somehow kind of comment on it a little bit. I'm actually excited what you guys come up with. So I hope you like this. I hope you like this. This was pretty fun, actually, experimenting with how many things I can think of and give some broader context. This was pretty fun. I think I should be doing part 2 of this in some future. If you like that, let me know, and I will see you in another video. Take care. Bye-bye. Shout out to you, all of my Patreons and Coffee members, for your continual support. It allows me to create more content like this. Your name is on the screen right now as a little token of appreciation. I used Coffee for years, where you can find extra content and perks at various tiers of membership, but due to popular demand, I set up Patreon too. Nothing changes, both platforms are treated equally, with same content, just for your convenience to use whichever side you prefer. Thank you for making my videos better and possible.